Welcome back to another PFF Prospect Profile. Today we're going to talk about Alabama linebacker Rashaan Evans, the 4th overall linebacker on our draft board. Have him as a second-round value. Sam, talk about what makes him that valuable.
Yeah, I think there's 3 guys that are clear first-round picks at linebacker in this draft. It's Roquan Smith out of Georgia, Leighton Vander Esch out of Boise State, and Tremaine Edmonds out of Virginia Tech. Rashaan Evans out of Alabama is the 4th guy that I think could be in that first-round mix. He has those kinds of tools. We just have a few more question marks with him compared with the other guys, particularly when it comes to coverage, which obviously is the most important aspect of playing linebacker in today's NFL. It's why Roquan Smith is our #1 guy. Rashaan Evans just doesn't have the experience, the proven track record of being a coverage defender that some of these other guys have.
Yeah, he's a very interesting evaluation because for most of his career at Alabama, he was actually basically an edge rusher. He was a third down sub-package guy who would come off the edge and rush against offensive tackles and was a damn good one at that. He was a legitimate threat there in their third down packages. Then they move him to off-ball linebacker this past season, and he's still a threat as a blitzer and one of the best pass rushing grades of any of the off-ball linebackers in the NCAA. But in straight pure coverage, it was just did not nearly grade out as highly.
Yeah, and that's what's such an interesting thing about him. He had excellent grades, but so much of that came as a pass rusher, where he was this add-on blitzer running up against running backs. And you know, if you look at his pass rush productivity, the highest among the 2018 draft linebackers, higher than anybody else because of those edge rusher skills. And when you turn on the tape, you see the same thing. You cannot block this guy with a running back. Running backs are going up against him, and he is just running over them, destroying these guys. And that will be valuable at the NFL level. Even the best pass-protecting backs in the National Football League are going to struggle to block Rashaan Evans because of his experience as an edge rusher. The question is, are you going to need to use him in that regard because he can cover? Because that is his weakness at the moment. We've talked before about how his best scenario, his ideal use in the NFL, might be to replicate what the Patriots do with Dante Hightower and kind of hide him a little bit in coverage, you know, have him get by just enough, but really use him as an add-on blitzer where he can be so devastating.
Yeah, I do still think he could be an incredibly valuable player, even if he's not a great pure coverage player, because when you watch him on tape, he is probably, of all the linebackers in this class, the most physical. He has these highlight reel hits where he is out for blood, snap after snap. And like we mentioned, him as a blitzer is fantastic in that regard. So if you're a team that plays a lot of man coverage, a blitz-heavy team, you can use him in man coverage as that whole player, not necessarily having him play one-on-one, you know, against tight ends. He just can go look for work and light up guys over the middle of the field and be an add-on blitzer in that pass game where you basically, like I said, can't block him one-on-one with the running back. So if you're a team that does that, he could be incredibly valuable, more valuable than some of the top guys in your scheme.
And I'm also not saying he can't do it, because there are plays in his tape where you see him running stride for stride with legitimate matchup weapons on offense. He can definitely do it. The question is whether he can do it consistently. We just haven't seen him try enough of it, so we don't know if it's a big part of his game. But you're right, his calling card is that physicality, that aggressiveness with which he attacks blocks is unlike anybody else in this draft class, and that is why a lot of people have this guy going in the first round.
There you have it. Rashaan Evans, one of our favorite players to watch and one of our favorite linebackers in this class.